Hey guys, welcome back to LetCode. My name is Koushik and today we are going to learn about the webtable concept in Protractor. So what is webtable and why we have to learn this? Webtable is very easy concept, but I think there are so many mess around. So I will try to explain the concept in the best way, and probably I think you will get it as well. So webtable is very important concept. Now when we have this table, this page has only one table, so that's not a problem. But if you take another real-time applications where we have multiple tables, now to find each and every rows or the columns, so basically these are rows and these are columns. So when find all those, we have to iterate from the table, not from the entire your DOM. So we're going to find the table first, table element, and from the table element we're going to navigate to each and every row. Now I will take a scenario here. So if the name matches Ashwant, then we're going to click on this particular checkbox which is present or absent, right? So that is what we are going to do. Of course I can find this element directly, or I can write XPath based on this text and I can click on that, but we are going to do the same thing in the using the webtable concept. So let us see how to do this. I already have written the basic stuff like describe, and here we have this let's learn webtable, and we have this before all where we are loading this website URL, and of course we are using this async await, and we have already talked about it. Of course you have to make your Selenium promise manager as false so that we can use the async and await keyword here. Let us understand how to find the table first. So that's going to be very easy, and today we are going to use everything in the CSS. So we are going to use the jQuery $symbol here, right? Now if I go here, so the first way to find any table is first inspect any of the table row or the table column, and then go through upwards, and here you can see we have this table element as a tag name. So of course we know that this is our table, right? So I'm going to write a CSS for this. So that's going to be tag name, and then followed by I can give actually the table ID. So here we have this table ID, so I can take that. To define the ID, we are going to use this hash and then followed by the ID. Now of course we are able to get this ID, able to get the table. Actually we are not interested on the table header. So if you see here, this is the table header entire row, and within this we have this row where we have this th tag. So header rows are specified within the th tag. We are not interested in this, rather we are interested on the body part where we have this 3 rows here. So if I expand or collapse this, you can see we have 3 rows, and within each rows we have 3 or actually 4 data, right? So we have 4 data, and in the last table data we have this input. Now the condition is if the name matches with Ashwin, then we are gonna select this checkbox here, right? So we can directly go to this t body by saying the t body here. So we are using the CSS locator now, and I'm going to copy this, and here I will say $symbol, so that represents the jQuery CSS, and here within double quotes I will specify the value. It can be also single quotes, that doesn't really matter, right? And let us store this in a variable. So I will name this as a table, and after that we are going to find how many number of rows are there. So here I will say table dot $. So that means it's used to find multiple elements at the same time, right? So we already have discussed about the finding multiple elements or applying the filter function, the map function, the each function. So we are going to combine all the stuff here, and we are going to do this using the webtable concept. So $$ is used to find multiple elements, and within this we're going to find only the tr. So tr is nothing but the table row tag here, right? So here we can see that we are able to get around 3 rows. So we can print this actually. So dot count is the function, so dot count, and that is going to return us the count of the number of rows we have. So here we can say let maybe rows equal to, and since we are getting the count which is going to return as promise, of course we have to resolve that. So here we'll say await, and let us try to print this first. So we'll say console.log, and here I'll say rows, or else we can just split this. So here we will only use the rows because we're gonna use this object in further, and here I can say like let count equal to rows dot count. same, but we have splitted those into two lines now. That's it. So here I will say count, and let us try to run this now. So run test. Okay, it was very quick, and of course we can see that we are able to get this 3. And just in case if you want to do the check, you can also use the expect here. So expect count dot to be 3. So that's it. It's easy. Now let us understand what we are going to achieve next. So before getting to this direct click, let us do one thing. Let us print all the name from here. So you can see that within each and every row, we have this table data. So TD is nothing but table data, and the first table data is going to be my name here. And similarly, if I go to the next table row, here you can see we are able to get the Ashwant from the table data, first table data. So we can look through each and every data, and we can look through each and every rows, and from there we can find the table data. So let us do that. So I'm going to say rows dot, again I'm going to use the double dollar to find all the table data. But before that, we also want to do the looping, right? So here I will use the for loop now. So for, and here I will just use the shortcut and will change this as I, and let us delete this. And here we can say that lesser than count. So basically whatever the rows count we are getting, we are looping through till the count, right? And here I can say rows dot get of. So get we already have learned, right? So get is used to get particular element from the element array finder. And here I will say I, and from the I, so I is 0. So here if you go here, you can see that we are able to get the first row here. So get of I means 0, that is this row, and from there we want to find how many table datas are there, correct? So I will say again dot dollar dollar, and then we will say table data. So this will return me all the table data. But as of now, we are interested on the first table data, right? So here we can say again dot, or let us store this in a first a variable. So here I will say first td, and from the first td, let us try to get the get of 0. So that's going to return me the first column actually. So here I will name this as let first data. Okay, so let me repeat again. It's very easy. From the rows we are looping through this I value, and from that we are from the first row we are finding all the table datas, and whatever the datas we have found, we have stored this in the first td. Now from the first td we are getting this 0th element. So here we have 3 elements. From the third element, from this elements we are getting the first element. Now we'll simply print this text and check. So I will say console.log await first data dot get text, right? Let us try to run this and let's check. Okay, so we got this first value is the Koushik and Ashwant and Ian, right? So we got this three values, and of course we are able to achieve this. Now the scenario is if the text is going to be Ashwant, then we have to click on this checkbox here, right? So I can store this instead of printing. I can store this in a variable. So let me name this as maybe text. So let text equal to, and then we can say if condition, and here I will say if text equals this Ashwant. So let me copy and paste over here, and then we can say we have to click on the table, this same table, same within the same row, we want to click on the last table data, where inside that we have this input tag. So we're going to click on the input tag of the last table data, right? So here we'll say this is actually my all the table data. The variable holds all the table data, right? So here we'll say first table data dot of last. I hope you remember what is the use of last. It is going to get us the last element of that particular element array finder. and from there we also going to find the input tag. So as of now we are in this particular table row and we are able to get into this particular last table data. From the table data we are going to click on this input. So here I will again find. Now I'm using single dollar because I know that I have only one input, so I can use single dollar here, and that's going to return us the input. So I will say input, or let us name this as checkbox. And then what we want to do is we want to click on the checkbox, right? So await checkbox dot click. That's it. We are done. Okay. Now we know that this is going to be after the completion, the browser is going to get closed immediately, but we want to see the result. So I will just add a wait here. So await browser dot sleep for maybe 5 seconds. That's pretty much enough. And let us try to run this now. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to clear up my console and I'm going to run this. Okay, so here you can see it has clicked the value of this Ashwant name, and that means of course our code is working fine. So this is what webtable concept. I think this is pretty much easy. The only thing is like you might have two doubts, like why we have to use the table in the and then why we have to go to the table row, because of course I can use like element dot find element by tag name tr, and of course that's going to give me the same result. For that, let me show you an example, better example. So here if you go to this erail.in, now here you can see we have this table, but if I'm going to inspect this page and if I do Control F and if I type for table element, here you can see we have multiple table elements, right? But if I'm going to find the tr tag, then you can see that we are able to get around 278 table rows. But if I navigate to particular table and from there if I try to find the table data, table rows, that's going to be from that particular table, not from your entire DOM. So that is the only difference between finding element directly and finding the elements using the webtable concept. So webtable concept is not a big jargon, it is just a finding the elements. The way we are going to find the elements, it's known as webtable concept, and it is also known as chaining, finding the elements with the chaining concept. So if someone asks you like what is chaining in Protractor, you can say this is the simple example, like from finding the elements from another elements is known as chaining of finding elements. That's it. So I hope you have learned this, and if you have any queries, please do let me know in the comments so that I can give you the explanation. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon.